Mike McCool here with the Royal Examiner. With me today is Haas Feldhauser and Greg Hubley. Greg is the troop master from Troop 52. And Haas, I don't know what
I'm
you
just
do.
here. Actually, my title within the troop is chaplain.
Oh, well, okay. But you've been involved with scouting, I know, a long time. So what we're going to talk about today is something about your troop. I keep forgetting. I forgot their names 52 times already. You like that? 52? I squeezed that in.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what's going on, Haas.
Well, this summer the troop is going to go to Key West. This is the troop's second trip to Florida in the last 20 years. And of course, Greg has set this up, is in charge of it, and he's going to talk about it some. The funds that we gathered for this big event, we've been saving. They had planned on going last year,
Right.
but of course the COVIDs. So we had the funds to go. We saved a little bit each year out of the budget for a big trip. And that's what is funding this Christmas tree sales. And we save a little bit each year to be able to take one.
How long are you going to stay in Key West?
Well, we're heading down there on the 16th of July, and we'll return on the following Friday, the 24th, I think.
Well, that's not too bad. It's a nice little trip.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit warm down there, but we're really excited. So,
Well, not much camping at Key West.
there's a, what key is it? I think it's Great Pine Key,
Right.
specifically just north of Key West is actually where we're physically going to be staying.
Oh,
So
okay.
we have a pretty good agenda.
No one knows where that is. You got to say Key West, so they'll get an idea what it is.
Exactly.
So what's the plan when you get there? I mean, is this just like camping fun, just a reward for all the years of work they've done?
It's a combination of both. We realize that a very, very strict program is kind of a turnoff to the new generation of kids. So we kind of do a really good mix of scouting activities that we stick to the core values in the True Scouting book.
Right.
But we also are kind of a little bit more liberal with our free activities and stuff like that. But our whole entire leadership team is qualified to teach upwards of about 40 or 50 different merit badges. Mm-hmm. So we're actually going to be offering our own program to our youth down at camp. We're going to be providing fishing merit badge, we're going to be doing automotive merit badge, we're going to be doing public safety merit badge, and we're going to be doing what's the other one? Astronomy. So we're going to be doing 4 or 5 different merit badges down there. All the boys have to put in the work. Ultimately, they don't earn it, but they will all be provided an opportunity to earn them while they're down there. So.
It's all scouting is such a great thing for young boys, I guess, girls or however they're doing it now. But it is great for kids. I mean, any of these kind of activities that they get into because of the core values that the Boy Scouts has. And I was asking you before we went on how many troops we had in Front Royal. We had more than one, so there's several. That's got 3 or 4, so that's really it shows you. And then there's a lot of other groups that are not Boy Scouts, but very similar, some faith-based groups that we have in town. So there's a lot of activities for young people to get involved in.
And they're all a little bit different.
And they're all a little bit.
They all have different programs that they may tend to go to. We always encourage youth that are coming up from a pack.
Right.
To go to different troops and actually see whether or not they're an actual fit, because not every troop is going to work for them.
Yeah.
The families have different schedules, they have different faith following.
Sure.
And we encourage them. Every youth that comes to visit our troop, we're like, don't just use us. Go to every single troop and find out what works. The key thing, and we always tell all the families, keep growing scouts. Whether you're with us or we go to the troop, stay in scouts, because then their siblings and their relatives, it's just going to keep growing and we'll benefit from it.
It is one of those things where everyone has to kind of participate to make it work.
It's all volunteers.
That's the thing people forget about it. It's a lot of work.
I mean, Haas has been doing this for a long time, and we wouldn't be where we are without people like him. So.
Yeah.
The troop will welcome anybody that wants to join. But like Greg said, we encourage them to look around at the other troops too. Our troop is very active, so it's a bit of a commitment to join. I don't go anymore, but Greg and them take the boys hiking and over to camping quite a bit.
We've had a tremendous busy schedule this last season. Coming off of COVID, we were still really active doing online merit badges, and obviously with the social distancing requirements and stuff that BSA instituted, and then local policy, of course. We've had challenges meeting. We were meeting one of the public pavilions over the soccerplex, and we transitioned over to one of the fire halls that's just on Fort Valley Road to accommodate The chief and the staff there were kind enough to let us meet there, obviously social distancing, masks and stuff. But we've been able to meet successfully. We've been very, very active with all of our outings, our camping trips. West Virginia, we went to Gettysburg a few weeks ago and got to complete that whole tour up there. What we're doing is our boys are finishing a hiking merit badge. About 2/3 of the troop have been actively participating in that merit badge, and so we're leveraging these locations and these really significant trips and locations to complete merit badges. And so that one, we were doing a 10-mile hike on that trip. So we have one more major hike, a significant hike. It's a 20-miler, and I think we're scouting out the C&O Canal trail right now. I think it's an option to get to finish that last 20
That's an
miles.
interesting place, that C&O Canal, because it's right there. You don't really realize it until
Right.
you come down over the road and wow, this is
Yeah.
here. I read that in history books.
we will do whatever we can tie in multiple events. Obviously, the boys come up with the ideas. We do what we can to accommodate their ideas. They coordinate a lot of the logistics and understand what it entails, the full trip. And we do what we can as the adult leadership team to support it. I mean, they're not going to want to do our ideas, so
No,
we want to make sure we're doing what they want to do.
I know when I was growing up as a young man back, long
Back
time
then,
ago,
yeah.
back in the dark ages, the physical activity, the hiking, the camping was like the mainstay of the Boy Scouts. I remember we took the Cub Scouts, my wife and I, we were married about 2 weeks, and we took them out camping along the river, and I can remember that event. That was a long time ago too. But it was a lot of fun. And people do get into it. I'm just wondering today we talk about all they have is the phone. They have their video games. Do you outlaw the phones on the trips? Come on, tell us the truth.
It's interesting. I'm definitely a hardliner. Some of our other leaders are definitely more inclined to let the boys use them to kind of keep up with times. We kind of have a happy medium while we're on the trips themselves. During the days, during the middle of the day or during the event, we ask the boys to stay off their phones.
Yeah.
If we catch them, we'll pull them, that kind of thing. But at night, 9, 10 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
typically around lights out, a lot of the boys will find themselves on the phones talking to mom and dad. which is
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
pretty
that's
common.
good. That is good. Yeah.
We encourage them to communicate with mom and dad, but at the same time, there's that need for separation as
That's
well.
that's the whole
So
that's the whole idea why we're out in the boonies.
It
Of course,
is.
you need to pick spots where there's no cell coverage.
Yeah, we do on occasion. It's never an active part of where we're going, but
Yeah.
we do consider that. So
One thing your troop is known for is these Christmas tree sales.
yeah,
We covered that every year when you're down there at the park, and it's amazing how much you raise from those things. And
Yes.
I was down there like a day late. You opened one day, I
Oh,
went
yeah,
down the
that's
next
bad.
day, and it was like all they were half gone.
Yeah.
People really scarfed them up.
we
Yeah,
had 2 days in a row, 2 weekends in a row. I think we did about 140 trees, which is really impressive.
yeah,
I think Pam and John. I think you've met them numerous times. They're integral to that. The leadership and the adults that we have there supporting that event. We couldn't do what we do, the events that we do, without a lot of these leaders behind the scenes. And phenomenal support.
Well, because a lot of times during the week the kids were in school, and then I went down there, and they was all manned by volunteers, and the
Yeah.
parents and things showed up, and
Yeah,
and
we
they
always
did the
tend
work.
to open up early. The boys typically get there from a 4 to 8 shift
Right,
during the week.
right.
And some of them are going to private schools sometimes, and they can't get there till 5 p.m.
Right.
So the adults are, doing what we
Yeah.
can. All the funds go towards the troop, so
Yeah.
the activities. So.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot of activities going on. Haas, you brought something to talk about too, about something here we were talking about how old it was. It was in 1971. I said, that doesn't seem that long ago. Until he told me it was, 49 years? We're going to be celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary next year. So
Wow.
that's a long time to think, but someone stayed married to me. So tell us what's going on here.
This, I don't know if the camera can catch.
I'm going to pull it in there. Yeah, go ahead.
Dr. Ken Bouvard was Scoutmaster of Troop 52 when I joined as a boy in 1964. Not 1864. 1964. And Ken would send me letters. He was director of research at the Beef Cattle Research Station. Now it's where the Smithsonian is. And they were trying to genetically raise better cattle. He traveled a lot. And whenever he traveled, he would send me a postcard like this one, or a letter. and this would be the address on
Just a picture, a stick-drawn horse, FRVA 22630.
it. Right, and I got them all. I'd get them all the time.
Were you named as Hoss even in school from day one? or-
No, I got the nickname Hoss is not on my birth certificate.
Oh,
Okay. I got the nickname Hoss from Scouts when I joined Scouts, and there was a TV program. Everybody here.
Oh,
remembers
yes,
it,
yes.
Bonanza. Most young ones don't know what Bonanza is.
no.
And one of the players was a big fellow. Was named Hoss, and that's how I got the nickname.
So you were the biggest fellow in the
troop at the time, yeah. Anyway, I was a part of the Order of the Arrow, which is a section of honor campers with Boy Scouts. And we had a national conference in Bloomington, Indiana, at Indiana University. It was like 10 days long. And I mentioned to Ken that he would really need to put more address on there if I was going to get any cards from him. And that's all I said. And we didn't mention it again. About the second or third day I was at the conference, they called me downstairs to the post office, and they handed me a stack of envelopes, 109 of them, this tall. And Ken had the boys. Ken was known for carrying 3x5 cards all the time with him.
Right.
A habit I've taken, especially with my memory. I have to write everything down. And he gave each boy a card, who wrote a little message on there, and then on the envelope, 1/3 of the envelopes had Hoss Feldhauser with the stick-drawn horse and the whole address. And it had to say Lodge 276, which we were, so they could find us out of the 5,000 scouts that were there.
Uh-huh.
And the second third of the envelopes had just part of the address. And the last third of the envelopes was like this one, just had a stick-drawn horse, Bloomington, Indiana, and that was it. And I got them all. Plus, Ken Boulevard was a special person. He took each of those envelopes, put like 9 of them in a package, and sent those 9 to friends of his all up and down the East Coast with instructions to when to mail which envelope. So he trained the post office.
Well, maybe the post office was a little better back then. But the post office gets a lot of bad press. But you know what? Think about the billions of pieces of mail they handle, and it still gets there. I know it is amazing.
It's amazing. And part of the reason I wanted to bring it up is because post office is getting such bad press right now, and rightfully or wrongfully, they're getting bad words. But this is a good story about the post office.
Sure.
It's old, but it's true. And Ken would send me postcards the same way with just the stick-drawn horse. And
Have we tried that lately?
I haven't tried it lately. Now, Ken wasn't the only one that was doing this. A good friend of mine, Hal Shaner, was living in Richmond, working in Richmond, and he used to send me letters like this, addressed with just the stick-drawn horse. And I got them. So it's unique.
It is unique. We had a preacher here who came with he was a Hoss too. Hoss Ridgway. I don't know if you remember Hoss. He was active in the community, but yeah, same way. He's a big guy. He got that nickname too, but he was about third year age. Well, it's just interesting that things like this, we got to give them good press.
Yes. I'll tell you a much more current story about the post office. We're here for Scouts.
Sure, of course.
But,
is there a merit badge?
Nothing I'm aware of.
About 3 years ago, we had an Amazon package stolen off our front porch. So we asked our mail carrier if, when they left the package, if we just knock on the door once or twice, and of course don't wait for us, just leave, and at least we know it was out there to get. And Kelly has kept that up today. If she leaves the package, she knocks on the door a couple times, and if we're home, then we know it's there, and we go out and get it.
So no more Ring doorbell. You got your own.
Well,
Well, it is. It is interesting. But that goes back to service. These are things that people learn when they're a child, and the manners and the your character that you learn when you're young.
It starts at home.
It sticks through all the way through your life, and these are things where it gets reinforced by scouts and,
Yep.
and things like that.
And that's, at Christmas tree sales, everything we do is a learning experience. We teach the boys a little bit about sales. They get salesmen.
Yeah, the salesman
Quite often.
Barry Harrison.
Right. I remember when I was down there, I was playing the role with them, and I was playing a little hard to get on some of the things, but I kept telling them, you got to ask for the sale. Don't just, just stand there.
Some of the kids are a lot better, and they
Yeah.
find their niche. Others are a little bit more passive and will take behind the scenes role.
Sure.
An older boy is trying
Yeah,
to get the
yeah.
sale, but they get it. I mean, we're coming off our 52nd year last year. 52 years for 52 through 52. That was
Yeah.
kind of our theme. The T-shirts that we
Yeah.
produced last year. It's a big deal. We're not the only show in town, but
Right.
we've been around a long time, and we have people who have been supporting this troop since they opened. We have gentlemen and families that come in here that, hey, I remember when I was a kid, my grandfather, my father, they bought their trees here. So they've been supporting the troop an awful long time.
Well, you've been around a long time. You're only a 2-digit troop, so I don't know if that makes any difference or not. But
The charter goes back quite a long ways. That's
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Who's Troop 1? I mean, is there a Troop 1
I
somewhere?
don't believe there's a troop one, at least not in our council.
But somewhere there was at one
At
time.
one time, it had
Yeah.
been.
But like you said, there's some 4-digit troops. There are just so many of them. It'll run. I'm glad. Hopefully, they have a 5-digit troop because that
COVID
means-
did a number on us, though.
Yeah.
COVID did a number on scouts in general. Just a lot of people kind of stepped away from it, just from the safety aspect of it, health
Sure,
and safety
sure.
piece of it, which we fully understand. We've been fortunate. We've had a very active program, and families have been, kind of pushing for an opportunity for their kids to kind of get out of the house,
Sure.
participate in events, do it safely, and we've been able to accommodate, and we've been able to grow our troop.
It sounds like you're going to have a pandemic merit badge here
Yeah.
coming out next
Probably
year.
should.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably how we're going to do it. Well, school will start, and that'll help again. Things will get back into their friends, and you're seeing it already. We've had quite a few activities. We had the Hope Rising Festival. There was a lot of people there. The graduations over the weekend,
Yep.
people were out. You couldn't tell there was any pandemic going on because they came out in groves, and you could tell that they were anxious to get out. And I think that's good thing to happen. And people get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine. Eventually you get some immunity built up, and our community will come back together, and we'll survive. So. I think it's great. Scouting will survive because there's dedicated people like you two that make it work. Make it work.
Yeah,
And we really appreciate it.
We have a very active leadership team as well. We have 5 or 6 active adults on most of our trips and events that are going on there. It's important. It's very
Yeah.
important. Several of them don't even have children and stuff in the troop any longer. They've
Right.
aged out, and that's important.
Sure.
And that's a sign.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
they care about scouting. They care about the community. They know. Gentlemen like Haas, John Thompson, who's our committee chair, a lot of individuals like that still stay active with the troop, want to participate and support the boys, and they know it's an important part of the future.
Well,
So.
how do we find out more information about the troop? I'll put your web address in the story, but I know that you're still accepting applications.
We are, and I can provide you our troop emails. It's a
We'll
bit
get
lengthy.
well. We'll get all that, and we'll put the information in the bottom of the story where people can click on and find out more information.
Absolutely, sure.
And the contact thing, and
Sure.
we're here to support the troops. So we'll do what we can to help.
Greatly
Again, appreciate everything you guys do. Anything else we want to bring up?
No.
I think people are going to envy this Key West trip. I mean, it sounds like I hate to say it sounds like a boondoggle, but I know you'll work them hard. You'll make them work for it.
We have it. We already have the agenda posted for the family so that they know what the boys are going to be doing and what they're going to be participating in. And
And they got to work hard to get there. So just,
they had to work really hard, and it's a constant. Obviously funds it's critical. And
Sure.
the Christmas tree sales help a lot, but we have private donators that will give small amounts of money throughout the year, and
Sure.
they've been doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
and that's critical.
Yeah.
Let's see here, Dr. Zunka, who's been an integral
Sure.
support for our troop.
Yeah, he's a-
big tree farm Eagle Scout from the troop.
Right.
Individuals like that in our community, we couldn't function without them. We just couldn't.
Right. When you look back at the leaders we have in our community and in our state, scouting is an integral part of their life. You can tell almost all of them had some sort of scouting experience growing up. So
We're trying to foster that.
yeah, that's great.
Well,
Well, again,
252 is fortunate that we have these youngsters.
Yeah.
You were telling us you were born when?
73.
73.
And he's, well, I don't know how you got all that hair. So, I don't know, but as old as you are, but you know.
But it's the active adults that the boys look up to and emulate, and learn a lot. We have good people running the troop. If I can take my cotton and have electricity for my CPAP machine,
Yeah.
then I don't go.
Yeah.
You know?
You're not going to Key West?
No.
We have 20, what do we have, 21, 22 people going down there. I think we have 7 adult leaders, 15, 16 boys.
Are you flying or driving?
No, we're driving down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well, that's an experience too.
It is,
Yes,
and
it
we
is.
actually have a camp that we're going to be staying in just south of Savannah. That we, I guess, a former Eagle Scout owns this campground, and he's letting the whole entire troop stay there for the evening. We'll be rolling out in the morning. They have arcades and ice cream and things there to accommodate the boys on the trip down there, kind of unwind a little bit. And
That's good.
Saturday morning we'll finish the trip down to the Keys, and we have a busy schedule. So.
On our last trip to Florida, which is, like I said, 20 years ago, I was scoutmaster for the trip. And we used the trip to teach the boys about highway signs, mileages, and knowing where you are on the highway and where you're going, where turnoffs are.
Now they just get the GPS out.
It's signs of the times.
Different,
But you know,
different times.
It's reading a map. I mean, you'd be surprised. Well, you wouldn't be surprised because that's what you teach.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how people really don't have a clue where they're at.
Right.
They take technology for granted.
Yep.
And we do land navigation and terrain identification, just basic things just to help the kids recall where they're at, how to get back, what to do in the event that they're lost.
Sure.
And obviously going into planning for an event, planning for weather events and emergency contacts, and making sure that multiple individuals know where we're going on the trip and what happens
Sure.
if we don't return. All of those things we're trying to pass on to the kids, and just reemphasizing it starts at home. We're reinforcing it, and hopefully they can build on that.
Yeah. Well, Greg won't know this, but I remember I was cleaning out and I found my slide rule, and my kids were little then, and they said, "What is this?" I said, "Well, you can add it's a calculator. You can do all sorts of stuff." No. So I think they were maybe 8 years old or something, and I was showing them how to use it. They played with that thing all day. They were fascinated. Oh, what's 4 + 8 or 10? They would throw out problems, and they would sit there and work on that thing, because it's amazing what a slide rule does.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a framing square. If we would teach people, other than drawing a straight line with it, there's a lot you can do. I mean, that's a algebraic, geometric, trigonometry tool, but you got to learn how to use it, right?
I cut out a set of steps with the square, so I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm talking about. It
I
does.
did one time.
One time, but it works.
It worked.
Well, you got to look at YouTube now and figure out how to use it. Well, again, we appreciate all the work you do and helping our young men here in our community, and we appreciate it. Anything we can do to help you, let us know.
Appreciate
Okay.
that. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Thank you so much.